just to start this off, this is for entertainment purposes only. And yeah, that's it. So, I want to talk about this Lambda variant and whether or not you believe everything that is being shown to us is your own personal choice. But I'd just like to point out something quite interesting. So, this, the word lambda, as it relates to biology, this is not the first time I've heard this word. The other time that I heard this word outside of them calling it a variant is a book called The Thesis by Judy K. King. So I'm gonna put it on screen real quick. So that's it, The Thesis by Judy K. King. And in this book, it basically goes over how a lot of Egyptian symbols and signs and deities actually represent proteins and molecules that have to do with the evolution of human DNA and things along those lines. So I'm just going to read from this blog post that's about the book. And yeah, you guys can tell me what you think. So, Death Reloaded. The Thesis unveils the sublime secret. When the unthinkable becomes real, we consider the mystery of the sublime. What is it? Evidence for the existence of God? A design for an anti-gravity machine? An elixir for eternal youth? A mystery is something that baffles everybody, but a secret is a mystery that was discovered and purposely silenced. 5,000 years ago, the Egyptian pharaohs discovered then silenced the most explosive mystery of time. They encrypted the amazing secret within their hieroglyphs and artwork, veiling it in a sublime religious literature. This knowledge was then inscribed in the pharaoh's majestic pyramids and carved in the bottoms of nobility's coffins. Their encrypted secret was safe from foreign invaders and their own common people who they referred to as the plebs. It was so safe that time passed and centuries later, no one understood the meaning encoded in the pharaoh's signs. The misunderstood and signs soon swamped history, masked as myth and religion. When Jean-Francois Champollion discovered the hieroglyphic code on the Rosetta Stone in 1822, scholars and Egyptologists used his alphabet to translate the hieroglyphs inscribed in the pyramids and coffins. Unable to find logic in the so-called pyramid and coffin text, scholars soon gave up. And Egyptologists decided to spend their time on more productive pursuits, such as excavations and preservations of artifacts. The general consensus was that the funerary texts were confusing, unintelligible, and primitive. Fortunately, not all people believe the general consensus. One day, a university English instructor who studied science on the side took a look at the English translations of the Egyptian hieroglyphs. Could it be that Egyptian deities and other signs represented fundamental biological units such as proteins and molecules? Was the Egyptian afterlife the tiny world of quantum particles? The year was 2001. By the way, same exact year I was born. A time when science had made great advances in microbiology, quantum physics, cosmology, and related disciplines. After 3 grueling years of full-time investigation backed up by scientific research, the exhaustive researcher finally unveiled the secret. explaining the discovery in the ISIS thesis. Encoded within the signs was a biology defining the birth of the universe, the origin of life, and a natural design for human survival after death. The simple mystery of the sublime was the unthinkable. In the afterlife, the pharaohs engaged in viral sex, that is, horizontal gene transfer. In their book Microcosmos, biologists Lynn Margulis and Dorian Sagan explain sex as the union of genetic material from more than one source to produce a new individual. We can easily relate this to the activity of parents producing children by passing their DNA into the new cell of human life. This is called vertical gene transfer. The DNA transfers from father and mother to the child and so on. However, DNA can also be passed into a cell from a virus, a bacterium, or other source. This type of sex is called horizontal gene transfer, an exchange of DNA between two different species. So more and more modern scientific evidence is supporting evolutionary gene shuffling through horizontal gene transfer mediated by bacteriophage, which are bacterial viruses that infect and often kill bacterial cells. Bacteriophage are everywhere on Earth, being the most abundant group of biological viruses. So it is that the pharaohs identify bacteriophage lambda as the carrier molecule or ferry boat for the dead human genetic essence that is ferried through a bacterial cell for transformation. Is life from death really possible? Just recently, in 1944, our scientists discovered that genetic material can be transferred from dead cells to live cells, but currently they are unaware that horizontal gene transfer can occur for dead human cells. The ISIS thesis decodes over 870 Egyptian signs explaining this exact process and other surprising discoveries. Put simply, Egyptian deities and other signs represent proteins and other molecules defining a pathway for horizontal gene transfer at human death. Researcher Judy K. King devised a unique methodology with a biosemiotics approach, aka biology interpreted as sign systems, to decode 8 major Egyptian texts, including the pyramid and coffin texts. The study, which King presented at the 3rd International Humanities Conference at the University of Cambridge, UK on August 3, 2005, reveals that the pharaohs were aware of bacterial genetics, space physics, quantum physics, and microbiology, including recent research on cosmology related to string theory and black hole theory. The sublime secret is that the pharaohs knew there was a natural design for species survival that results from horizontal gene transfer mediated by bacteriophage lambda. So that's just a little bit from this blog that's explaining what the ISIS thesis goes into. Now, is this lambda variant the same as this bacteriophage lambda that is the so-called carrier of, what did it say? Is it possible that this same lambda variant is the carrier molecule for the dead human genetic essence that is ferried through a bacterial cell for transformation? If that didn't make any sense to you, putting it simply, this molecule allows you to, it's basically a pathway to the afterlife. Whether you believe that or not is up to you. This book is, you can look it up, The ISIS Thesis by Judy K. King. I haven't read it myself yet, but I am going to get into it. And shout out to Brother Panic, because if it wasn't for him, I would have had no idea about what this even was. So I leave it up to you guys to determine whether or not this Lambda variant is the same thing as this, which, same name, so that's saying a lot. But anyways, that's all I have for this video. I might make another video on this, probably not, but that's all I got for now. And I'll leave some links in the description, and peace.